pretty good.
Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at a monster game here from TheSailingRobin. Now I know that usually on Fridays we have our cruisers as the featured ship class, however, when TheSailingRobin sends us a replay, we always open it, and generally we feature it, and this is no exception here. That little 20-second intro that you saw there, this little sneak peek for Robin's upcoming Harugumo montage. For those of you that don't know who TheSailingRobin is, he's not only one of the best players on the EU server and, quite frankly, in the world at this game, but he makes some high-quality content on his YouTube channel, albeit he's not able to post as much as he'd like due to in-real-life stuff, but the content quality is through the roof, and his Harugumo montage is going to be upcoming here soon. I know that I kind of gave you the wargaming answer, but soon, don't worry. So it's going to definitely be filled with memes and kick-ass gameplay. So you guys should definitely go check his channel out if you already haven't. We have featured him a few times before on our channel. He's a great dude, and we're definitely happy to be featuring one of his replays again. So, of course, it's the Harugumo. This is the Tier 10 Japanese gunboat, and this thing is batshit crazy, to put it lightly. The replay you're going to see here, sure, the places that he's going to go and what the enemy team is going to do might be a little bit questionable, and it's going to allow him to have a monster game, but you're going to see just how insanely powerful this ship is when you're able to take advantage of its strengths. And we all know that this thing is basically a Wooster packed into a destroyer with torpedoes. This ship is unbelievable in its ability to put out raw damage over time. You have 10 guns, 100 millimeters in caliber. If you do run IFHE, we all know that you can reach that 32 millimeter penetration threshold. And while I'm not going to sit here and talk about it on whether I agree with it or not, this thing is unbelievable in its ability to deal out damage with the guns. 2.3 second reload with the build that Robin has, which of course has main battery modification 3. But he also, as you saw in the intro, does not have concealment. He decides to go with AFT, so he can get that range out to a pretty staggering 15.1 kilometers. Sure, his concealment does suck at 7.7, but this thing rivals the Khabarovsk in its ability to just straight up kick butt with its gun's performance. Now, as we should also mention, you do have access to some pretty good performing torpedoes. Sure, the detection is terrible because Japanese torps lull, but 12 kilometers of range, high damage, and you can use the torpedo reload booster as well. So you can throw 12 fish downrange on a single torpedo salvo. And it just so happens that if you do use the reload booster at the same time that you drop your torpedoes, as we're going to see here, you're actually able to have your torpedo reload be roughly similar to your cooldown on your torpedo reload booster. You can see the TRB is going to be back in 223, and his reload on the main torp's 244. So he's going to be able to use the reload booster in combination with his torpedoes pretty much every time as he sees fit. Now, this poor Alsace. Yeah, this thing has 32 millimeters of armor all over the place. The deck, the bow, the stern. Of course, the superstructure is less than that. So basically what this means is, well, take a look at the shell counter on the right side. Oh boy, a lot of penetrations. The Akizuki, the Kitakaze at Tier 9, and then of course the Harugumo at Tier 10, all have this capability to absolutely disregard battleship armor and cruiser armor and destroyer armor, even though there's not really that much of any of it. Yeah, that Alsace eating damage. His torpedoes are going down range, and then of all things that he manages to snag, it's the Z-52, which is pretty incredible considering the German DD obviously has the very long-range hydroacoustic, but I guess that guy wasn't running it. And to his chagrin, Robin manages to pick up the first blood, and to top it all off, he gets a torpedo hit on the stern of the Grosser Kurfürst. So what this means is the guy, of course, has to use his damage control, and Robin is going to get some high explosive spam into that guy's superstructure. And if you lost track of the damage counter, or if you haven't looked at it yet, in the snap of a finger, he's up to 70,000 points of damage and counting. So, yeah, this thing is just the king at dealing damage. If you're looking for a destroyer to be able to damage farm in, this is absolutely the one that you should do so in. His team right now, it's 314 to 323. Both sides have lost 2 ships. You can see that the disposition is very odd. Literally nobody came in or around the B cap for the enemy team, so he's able to get a pretty nice flank and an area to shoot at the enemy ships that are over here at the A cap on, with literally no enemy intervention on the B cap. That's something that is very rare here on this map. There's a lot of islands to be able to get close to the capture points, so Robin is definitely taking advantage of the flanks, but Loop is one of those maps that when you do maneuver around and find the flanks, it is very satisfying because there's so many islands around, and this Kurfürst is feeling the full brunt of the Harugumo's high explosive spam. He does throw some shells downrange at him in return. And one thing to note about the Harugumo is that it, like the Khabarovsk, are the only two destroyers left in the game that still can eat large amounts of AP damage from enemy battleships. And the reason why this is important is because you can't just expect to go full broadside to a Yamato or a Montana at medium range and smoke up and just eat a few over penetrations and, whatever. You have 29,100 hit points with Survivability Expert. Unfortunately for those captains, you're going to eat a lot of AP damage. So this build that Robin has with the 7.7 kilometer stealth, it kind of forces you. You want to stay at those standoffish ranges. Sure, it doesn't even come close to the maneuverability of the Khabarovsk. So that means that you do have to stay longer away from the, or farther away from the enemy team. But of course, with the 15.1 kilometer range, you're able to do stuff like this, where pretty much a lot of the other destroyers that you're going to find are not going to be able to do this. And he's actually going to sit out here in the open. He wants to wait for this Kurfürst to come around the corner. The dude does use his damage control immediately, which is a sign that the Kurfürst is about to die, and he is using one of his heals as well. So you can see here the amount of HE spam that's going down range. This is just, yeah. I'm going to mention it a few more times in certain circumstances, but this thing is hilarious. I mean, I grinded through the Kitakazi in 40-some games, and obviously I had main battery mod 3 and the full gunboat build, and this thing is just, it's ridiculous. And he has the Yamamoto captain, so of course, if you do get the Kraken with this guy, you will be able to get that reload buff and the hit point buff as well, so we'll see if Robin's going to be able to do that. But right now, just racking in the damage. He goes out of the smoke screen to get the Kurfürst spotted again. The Cyclone is coming in, so it would be very beneficial to be able to kill this guy before he's able to get away undetected. And you can see here the shell is falling into the superstructure. He also moves forward to get out of dodge from the Kurfürst. One of the secondaries manages to land on him and set a fire, but that's okay. He's going to use his repair right about now, I believe. Yep, there we go. So he kills off that tier 10 German battleship, up to 122,000 points of damage. The enemy team has since captured the C objective, and they are moving in on it. So Robin now has a tough decision to make. Does he want to go help the team out, trying to take care of the Stalingrad, or does he want to go over to the C cap and start dealing damage to those 3 BBs and 1 cruiser that's over there? And he's actually going to make what I thought was the surprising play, trying to come back around and deal with this enemy Stalingrad. But of course, this is a Stalingrad. At the end of the day, a very powerful ship, borderline OP. Also, the player that's driving it is from the clan TTT, who they do have a lot of really good players. So he decides to make what ends up being the better play here in trying to deal with this Soviet cruiser. The friendly Shimakaze does manage to torpedo one of the enemy DDs that's over there, which is great. So there's really nothing to get him detected at this moment, unless he stumbles into the radar range of the Stalingrad, which he has, but you can see that it looks like he's going to get some torpedoes here on this guy, as the Stalingrad does turn full broadside, and there we go. There's the radar, so Robin is going to open up on him on the broadside. Of course, the Stalingrad is going to immediately aim at him, but he will land at least 1 torpedo guaranteed. He manages to dodge the salvo, which was pretty incredible. There we go, 1 big meaty hit right into the side of that guy. So that Stalingrad all of a sudden is in a world of hurt. And now, after using his damage control, he's got the full weight and power of the Harugumo shooting at him. He's also lit on fire as well. This is not looking good for that dude. So now Robin speeds up ahead, and with the propulsion modification, he's able to not eat too much damage right there, about 3,000 damage. Yeah, that Stalingrad ate a lot of damage right there. But at this point, Robin is actually turning back in, because now that the Cyclone has hit fully, 8 kilometers is the detection, so he wants to try and run this guy down while his radar is still on cooldown and try to get the kill secure on this Soviet cruiser, which, again, in retrospect, this is the better play to make, because then it will completely free up the entire western half of the map, and then Robin will be able to get back around and get onto the B cap. And if you haven't noticed, you can see that the B cap is actually being contested by the enemy Shimakaze. So killing the Stalingrad is the first order of business. Excuse me. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He only eats about 2,000 damage there from the guy's main gun, so who's going to get the kill? And it appears that Robin is going to do so. Yes, sirree. So he's up to 157,000 points of damage as he picks up his third frag of the game. And now he's going to be heading back to try and help out that friendly Montana. But there's also some friendly ships that are going to be moving over there as well. So it appears that we're going to be setting up for a nice Mexican standoff here at the B cap. Is the enemy battleships. Will they enter? Will they not? Who knows? We're going to see what happens here. But Robin is going to set himself up in a nice place. And what he's going to do is go slightly north of B and then decide to smoke up and set up shop. So what it's going to allow him to do is be able to get torpedoes on the B cap and also into the channel that's to the east of the B cap as well. And then if any of the enemy ships decide to loop around to the northeast of B, he's also going to be able to train his guns as well. So when it comes to what I call micro positioning, his position that he's going to set himself up in is going to maximize two things. One, his ability to deal damage on the enemy ships, which at the end of the day, that's what this game is all about. You gotta damage shit to kill shit. So he's going to be able to put himself in a great spot to do that. And also he's maximizing his ability to help out his teammates, because you can see that the friendly Montana is in dire straits, and he does have a Tirpitz on his broadside, and in the next couple of seconds there's going to be more BBs up here as well. So that Montana needs all the help that he can get, and Robin is in a great place to be able to do so. Now, what you're going to see here, he switched to the armor-piercing shot, and at ranges of under 10 kilometers, the Harugumo is actually pretty frightening when it's able to get a close to or full broadside ship to shoot at, because look at all of the damage. 45 pens and counting, aiming high up into the superstructure. He is doing a crap load of damage, but he realizes that the torpedo is going to kill the Tirpitz, and that's exactly what happens. So now he decides to switch over to this enemy Grosser Kurfürst. Now, I will admit, he does get a little bit lucky here, because the Kurfürst is going to get within what would be his hydroacoustic range right about now or so as he picks up the high caliber. The Kurfürst does not have his hydroacoustic going, which, to be quite honest with you, is a bit surprising. Not sure if it's on cooldown or not, but this is to Robin's benefit, as he is just farming the absolute crap out of this guy. He does need a couple blind shots from him, but that's a-okay. You can see that adrenaline rush is kicking in, and his reload is down to 2 seconds. And, oh boy, right as this Kurfürst goes broadside, he switches to the bow, which has not been saturated yet, and look at the damage. This is insane. Over 1,000 damage every single salvo. This Kurfürst is literally being melted by these little pew-pew-pew machines. And, yeah, this is... this is hilarious. I mean... Oh boy, that Kurfürst just died so quickly. Unfortunately for him, the Ibuki finishes him off with the Flood, but now he switches back to the high explosive for the Lion. The Lion is also one of those ships that has 32 millimeters of armor all over the place. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Shooting right at the bow of this guy. He is just obliterating this poor guy. I mean, look at the damage. Look how quickly this Lion is just being subjugated to this unbelievable stuff. As he picks up the Kraken, there we go. The fireworks go off. He gets the reload boost and the heal, of course. I don't particularly care for it. I think it was a bad idea that Wargaming put captains in that have these extra bonuses, but I digress. They're in the game, whatever. He picks up the bonuses there. So now his reload is down 1.2 seconds. So enjoy. I mean, just look at this. This is... Enjoy. Yep. This is Yamamoto for you guys. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. That song only had like, what, 30-some thousand health? Sure. Some battleship poked him a little bit, but, oof. And with the 6th frag of the game, that ends the game here on loop. Alrighty guys, taking a look at the post-battle results, 496,000 credits received, 7.4 total experience. I don't think this was his first one of the day based off of that experience number. He picked up 5 medals, Dev Strike, Confederate, High Caliber, Kraken Unleashed, and First Blood, dealing 279,000 points of damage off of 1,200 shell hits. That's a nice even number. And 4 torpedoes. He sank half of the enemy team, only set 5 fires, and had 1 assisted base capture. Taking a look at the team score, 2,928 base experience. That is some pretty spicy stuff. Looking at the detailed report now, 198,000 damage dealt with the main battery, 153k with the HE, and 44,000 with the AP. Another 64k dealt with the torpedoes, and another 16,900 with the fires and the floodings that he was able to set. So, Mr. Robin, thank you so much for sending in your stuff. We always love featuring your content on our channel. And this was a pretty awesome Harugumo replay. I cannot wait for your montage. I love watching your stuff. It's fantastic content, and I'll be definitely looking forward to that here in the coming days or weeks whenever it does appear on your channel. So I also hope you guys enjoyed the replay as well. This is Sneck for BIA World of Warships signing off. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.